Hello there and welcome to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, or what you may or may not have known about Doctor Who. This time we're going to have a look at Rise of the Cybermen / Age of Steel. The reason why we're going to look at both episodes at once is because they are basically one long story. It's a mini serial in a way. And so I'm just going to use it as one story as opposed to two separate stories. Whilst the facts are going to be going through both stories, they're just going to be considered one long story. So yeah, hope you enjoy. John Lumic was based on Davros, with both being crippled physically and in a wheelchair life support, and being the masterminds of a new race that is essentially a mutated or even mutilated person stuffed inside a metal shell. The Cybermen went through several designs, with one that was originally more akin to the Mondasian look with a few modifications. However, the look was deemed too scary and the other metal men were used instead. Other working designs reflected other eras of the Cybermen, but with some more modern aspects. And some designs were incredibly radically different, and one design almost looked like the Combine from Half-Life. Graham Harper is the only director to direct a story in the Classic era and the Revival era, having directed both The Caves of Azradoni and Revelation of the Daleks. Big Finish's Spare Parts was the inspiration for this story, serving as the origin story of the Cybermen in that story, and this being the origin story of the Cybermen in an alternate universe. In the original script, there was going to be body shops which rich people would have gone into and gotten cybernetic limbs, but this idea was rejected because it was deemed unrealistic, of all things. Jackie's 40th birthday is a reference to the fact that this story aired on the 40th anniversary of the 10th planet. The team responsible for the Cybermen design in this also created the K-1 and the robots from the Robots of Death, and the design was inspired by the robot from Metropolis. Jake and Ricky were intended to be gay lovers. Footage of the destruction of the Nestine consciousness in Rose was reused for the destruction of the Cyber Factory. This is the first time the Doctor wears something different to his brown suit and coat. Roger Lloyd Pack based his portrayal of John Lumic on Donald Rumsfeld, whom he considered a power-hungry mad person who is as bad as you can get. Originally, Lumic had a son working for him, but this was replaced with Mr. Kane. Several points in the story are inspired from Tomb of the Cybermen, such as the Cybermen killing with electricity and the Cybermen having a way to mind control people. Mrs. Moore was originally going to be killed as she and the Doctor escaped through the tunnels. Initially, Rose was going to kill the cyber-converted Jackie. Lumic's expression of excellent is a reference to the Classic era Cybermen, who had often used the word excellent in all of their appearances. This is the first cyber controller that isn't the same as the previous. You see, the cyber controllers seen before were the same cyber controller that simply evolved in the design. Lumic is technically the second cyber controller to appear in Doctor Who. Lumic is the only cyber controller to not have an enlarged brain, and is the only one to have handlebars. The TARDIS-odes featured for these episodes were one that featured the Preachers detailing the secret plans from Cybus and calling for action, while the other featured Lumic declaring worldwide conversion. One of the key features for this story for the production team was to evolve Mickey's character, turning him from the tin dog, as he mentioned in the previous episodes, and a coward to an independent brave hero. The ending of Age of Steel was different, with Jackie from the main universe being invited by the Doctor to reunite with Pete, and Rose would have to make a choice to stay with her parents or go back home. This was considered too soon of an action to take place, and so only Mickey stays in the parallel world, and this plotline would later be revisited in the series finale, Doomsday. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. These are two fantastic episodes and a great two-parter to really bring back the Cybermen into the New Who era. It gives us a great demonstration of what the Cybermen are and a good backstory as to who the Cybermen are. The idea that these are used to be people is quite a terrifying aspect, and the scene in particular that I can always remember is the scene with Lucy, where you have the cyber-converted Lucy detailing how she feels cold and how she's going to get married the next day. However, obviously she got converted into a Cyberman and is no longer capable of feeling anything and is just feeling cold now that her emotions have been brought back. It's truly an emotional but also terrifying scene, making the Cybermen truly scary. This is probably the only time that the Cybermen are scary in the whole of the New Who era. There are very few examples where the Cybermen truly were frightening, but this is probably their most frightening and truly a fantastic episode, and certainly one of my favourite Cyberman stories of all time. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time.